don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you weep. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Some of these mornings bright and fair, take my wings and leave the air.
Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Oh, Mary, don't you
Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you weep.
When I get to heaven, gonna sing and shout. Nobody there can turn me out.
Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Oh, Mary, don't you,
Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you weep. When I get to heaven, gonna put on my shoes, run about glory and tell the news. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you weep.
Mary, don't you,
Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Pharaoh's army got drowned. Oh, Lordy, oh, Mary, don't you, oh, Mary, don't you, oh, Mary, don't you weep, don't you mourn.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Help us all to hear your good news message this beautiful World Communion Sunday morning. Amen. Well, we're going to talk about propping you up. Is there anybody here who was never propped up in their whole life? Good. We all need occasionally to be propped up. We're down, we're unhappy, we're sad. The world is against us, and we need somebody to just give us a little support, a little lift. And I know in today's world, it's like a lot of worlds and a lot of days, you need to be propped up. I do too. That's why we come to church, to get lifted, our spirits lifted, to get a little attitude adjustment, as my boss used to tell me. I came in one Monday, he said, "Dick, you need an attitude adjustment." I said, "Well, so do you." He said, "But I'm the boss." I said, "I don't care." And I no longer work for him, of course. You know, we all need a little attitude adjustments every once in a while, don't we? And we need to be propped up and encouraged to continue being a Christian. That's what we're doing here. I see somebody that's a little down, I encourage them to stick with the program, to stick with God. Don't give up, don't quit, don't walk away. Every example in the Bible, starting with Job, who's the best example, the whole world was falling in on Job. But he did one thing, and he didn't say no to God, he didn't curse God. He said, "I don't know why this is happening to me, and I'm not a happy camper, but I am not going to let Satan win, the world win, the devil win, whatever you choose. I'm going to stick with God." And you know what happened to Job? Everything was multiplied 10 times. His money, his sheep, everything. So we got to hang in there. I think the other thing that comes up when we talk about propping each other up is, you know, people are funny, aren't they? I think there was a TV program that said people are funny. And whenever it's Harvest Week, I got to share this briefly. We at Bible study, we picked one word, okay, to study. And the word I picked last week was people. And it's in the Bible about 100 times. And I said, you know, the best thing about church is people. The worst thing about church is people. Right? The best thing about Harvest Festival is the people. And the worst thing about Harvest Festival is the people. You know? But don't quote me. I can only share one story about someone that came to Park for Harvest Festival. She said, I'm not going back there. I said, oh, okay. Where are you going to go? That's where the parking is. I'm not going back there. I said, well, where are you going to go? I want to go to the show. And I said, well, the parking's back there. It's fine. Oh, I got stuck 4 years ago. I'm not going back. I said, do what you got to do, but that's where the parking is. What's wrong with people? I can't explain it. I just know this, she needed propping up. Didn't she? So I propped her up the best I could, and I said, if you're going to work, you can park in the work area. If you're disabled, you can park in the disabled area. Are you disabled? She said, mentally. You knew that was coming. So I said, just park back there. I don't care. I do care. And that's the important thing about God. God cares every single day when you get up. He says, what's going on in your life, Pastor Dick? I care. So let's get propped up real quick. The first scripture lesson is the New Testament lesson. And it has 3 P's in there that are so important as we prop each other up and God props us up. And he says, and this is the one that really hit me in my heart, he says, if you want to inherit the good life, do what the people did. You have to be patient. Hello? I can't be patient. We have a lot of people that have trouble with patience. But in order for God to prop you up, you have to wait and know that He will. Okay? Then it says, I promise you, if you hang in there, you will get lots of good stuff. You'll eventually be perfect. But I will prop you up here on earth. John, can you help me for a second? Yeah, just stand over here, because you're, and see, you didn't know there was a method to my madness. John has a lovely voice, and this is his first year with the choir. I need a little propping up. I think I'm leaning. Yeah, that's perfect. Now don't let me go, John. You know, I signed your checks, John. No. You know, even pastors once in a while tilt. Or, wait, John, thank you. Why is it so hard to be a Christian person in today's world? Because John isn't always standing there. Thank you, John. But I'll tell you who is standing there when I start to fade, when I start to get exhausted. God is there. He will hold His hand up. He will lift you. He will support you so you don't fall on your face. Promise, patience, and the last one, perseverance. Ooh, I mean, we got to take all this stuff and smile and be a nice Christian person when they say they're not going back there. The answer is yes, you do. And just to close the loop, I had more people say, oh, your smile's nice, and that lady down there is nice. More than the, I'm not going back there. That's how God works. You know? We think we're in the minority, but we're really the majority. All right. So, persevere. The promise will come true, but you got to be patient and wait for it, and I know that's torture. All right. The second scripture lesson is Psalms, And Psalms talks about two other things that are very important. You know, it talks about righteousness. You know what righteousness is? It's just a fancy word for doing the godly thing, doing the right thing, doing what God would have you do. Not yell at that lady that won't park back there, but to calmly deal with it. That's what we're supposed to do in our life as Christians. But let's face it, it's not easy. Another thing I use when I'm trying to kill, you know, is a shepherd's hook to get the sheep. But I use this to lean on, because it props me up. It's just enough, and it's the right height. I don't have to bend my arm too much. So when you start to waver in your faith, when you start to say, I don't think I can handle being righteous, you know what happens? You don't get rewarded. That's in the scripture lesson. You do the good thing, you get rewarded. I don't know when my reward is coming, but it'll probably be here this afternoon. It was here all day yesterday. Every car I waved in, I was so happy. Because they were happy. And I knew a lot of people put blood, sweat, and tears into making them happy. And we finally had the perfect day, didn't we? And I told somebody, God is good all the time. And they said, all the time, God is good. I said, that's right. You just have to hang in there. He said, it's only taken you 12 years, Pastor Dick, to get a good day. I said, yeah. But take advantage of every opportunity. Don't fall over. Don't let go of the Good Shepherd. I told you this was going to be a quick sermon. What's the third scripture lesson? Oh, it's a New Testament lesson. It's about the oath. I pledge allegiance to the flag. No, I pledge allegiance, God said, to my family of believers. You know what I like about being a Christian? I tell you almost every Sunday, it's for everybody. What did he say? I'm coming for all believers. Whoever believes in me shall never die, but live in perfection. He doesn't put a race, creed, color, bank account to it. Doesn't say where you live, how you live. He says all you got to do is believe. So if you believe and hang in there, you know when I believe less than any other time? When I am working in the lawn. Because, as I've told you, the house is still vacant. This is year 5. Okay? Empty house next door. They mow it every once in a while. So when I mow my lawn and rake my leaves and do everything, I know it's useless. It's a waste of time because it's all blowing in from the yard next to me. Why do I try? Why do I go to church? And Lorna, because she loves me most of the time, she bought me a new edger. This is the job I hate more than any other, edging. Because it's stupid, it just grows back. And I'm so... I just go like this in the yard all by myself. And I say, God, could you please put somebody in that other house that likes their yard? Have you ever had a day where you just lean on your edger and say, God, get me another job, get me another family, get me another... I am seeing more and more people leaning on their edgers in this world of ours. It doesn't work that well anyway. Folks, God's promise to us, His oath, is that He will save you, He will comfort you, He will forgive you, and He'll love you every day on those days when you're not lovable at all. The gospel lesson, 3 gospel lessons. The big word is peace. You know, I want nothing less in my life than a little peace and quiet. And maybe if I get propped up, you know, last night finally after the Harvest Festival, I take out my favorite Ohio State chair to watch the game. I'm at peace, but you can't be at peace without salt. I always put salt in my chair. Put it, see, right in this pocket. And usually Lauren gives me popcorn or something. Isn't that a great life? You know, a little ice water, iced tea, Snapple, Diet Coke, straight bourbon. Don't record that. Depends on the kind of day I've had. But the salt's always here. My grandfather said, and again, don't quote me, but he said when the beer goes flat, Dick, put a little salt on top, and the foam will come up. Because he flew in from Germany and he knew a lot about beer. But what does our gospel lesson say? Saltiness is fire. That's why we call it a spice. Salt also is a preserver. It will save things. When a Christian loses its salt, it can't save anybody, including itself. And there is no peace in a life without God. Love, hope, peace, joy. All three Gospels that are in your bulletin talk about peace. Oh, I want some peace with salt.